Hello again, everybody. Uncle Agro here, and happy spooky month. On today's tutorial, where I'm gonna show you how to add dynamic bones, aka hair and jiggle physics, onto your VRChat avatar. Now, few disclaimers here. Dynamic bones do not work on the Quest. So, this is PC only. It will work on the Rift S, the Valve Index, and all that good stuff, but not on the Quest or the Quest 2. And another one is you are going to have to pay for this. So, the first thing we do is we're going to go to the asset store inside Unity. And we are gonna search for dynamic bones. There we go. Dynamic bones by Will Hong. That's about 18 bucks. But it's the best 18 bucks you're gonna spend. So just click on that, buy it, and then click import. Should import just like any other Unity package. Now once you've imported that, you can go back to your scene. Now since it's October, we're gonna use a spooky avatar. I have my mummy girl here. Also, she's got long hair, so it makes this a little bit easier. Now there's a lot of different ways to do this. I'm just gonna show you my way, which is we're gonna click on our model over here. You already have your avatar descriptor ready. We can actually hide that. We don't need that for this. We are gonna add component and just type in dynamic bones or dynamic whatever, and here they are. We're gonna be using the dynamic bone and the dynamic bone collider. So I'm gonna explain what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add one dynamic bone for the back hair, one for the bangs, the front, one for the chest, and I think that's it. So I'm just gonna add one first. I'm just gonna go one at a time. Now you could add a single bone for each strand of hair that you're gonna animate, but I'm gonna show you a little trick here on how to combine them. Here we go. We added our script, our dynamic bone script, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna pretty much be using these sliders. First, we gotta tell the script what to animate. So we're gonna do this for the back hair, and this root here is gonna be the root bone in which all your dynamic bones are going to be connected to, which in this case would be the head. So just go ahead and drag your head bone over to the root, and there we go. We already see these white lines appearing. So that's a little bit more than we need. It's adding some to the bangs and all that. So how do we get rid of those without deleting everything or adding a script for all the bones separately? We're going to be using the exclusions down here. Now you need to count on how many bones you need to exclude. So we're connected to the head, and these are all the bones that are connected to the head. Now that's a lot of bones, but we don't need these ones or the front here, only the back here. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can exclude 10 bones. So we're just gonna type in 10, and now you're just gonna drag all the bones you don't need onto the elements over here. There we go. Now we're left with only the back hair. That's what we want. Now there is a problem. Well, maybe not a problem, but there is a catch to this. You can only use the root bone. Add a dynamic bone, and every bone after the root bone will be affected. Now, if you would want the hair physics to start a little bit lower, let's say from the neck and not the base, then you'd probably have to add all the scripts one by one and just choose the bone you want to start. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to do this the easy way. Not the cleanest way, but the easiest way. And there we go. Now, technically the bones already work. We can test it out. Let's go to play mode. Make sure you're not paused. Scene. Oh, there we go. We already have some jiggles going on. Move your model back and forth, and there you go. But that does not look quite right. So this is where the sliders come in, and all these settings. Now, what I like to do is I like to make the changes in play mode. Just be sure to copy the script or copy the component once you're happy with it to save the changes. I'm gonna show that once we're done it. Now this next part is mostly just trial and error. You just have to mess around with these to get the result that you want. The update rate is just the number of seconds, or well, maybe not seconds. I'm not actually sure what these are, but this is the amount of time it takes for the bones to snap back into place. Like so. So 60 is the default. I like to use something like 30 or 40. But yeah, that's a little too jiggly. So I'm gonna turn down the elasticity. That's pretty self-explanatory, I think. That already looks a lot better. Now the damping would be, I guess, how much the hair moves, the bone moves. Now there we go. That already looks a lot more like real hair. Usually I just mess around with those two, and well, maybe the stiffness. Stiffness is pretty explanatory as well. I usually just move them to around 0.5 and work from there. That's pretty decent. That's pretty decent. I can work with that. Inert, I'm not actually sure what that does, but it's something to do with how much the hair moves. Pretty much the same as damping, I guess. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave that there. Not terribly sure what that does. And there we go. You could add some gravity, but I'm not sure if VRChat actually recognizes that. So we're not gonna touch that. There we go. We have what we want. It's not perfect, but it's pretty decent. Now the next thing we're gonna do is make sure that this doesn't happen. You probably don't want your hair to go straight through your body in game when you're running around. Now let's fix that. Now remember to copy your component once you're done with the settings, because once you go out of play mode, all the values reset. Now you can just right click and paste component values. There we go. We have the same settings as before. Now to stop the hair from going through the body, we're going to add some colliders. And that's going to be the main cause of headache in dynamic bones, at least for me, because I can never get them to work properly. We're going to add some to the head, the shoulders, the arms, the chest, maybe even the hips. Yeah, we could add some on the thighs as well, but we'll see. We'll see once we get there. And now, let's start from the head. I'm gonna click on our head bone, and over here, add component, dynamic bone collider. Now this thing pops up. These are huge, and the values we're gonna be working with are really small. So we're talking like 0.1 0, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0.06 looks pretty good. That would be the radius of the ball. Even might be a little too big. There we go. Make sure you're actually inside yourself here. Well, the collider is inside of you. The height, you can actually, well, let me see, 0.0456, no, 0.1, 2, oh, there we go. Now, it makes another ball, but everything between these two balls still is considered a collider. So it shouldn't go between these two. Now you can change whether they're vertical or horizontal or depth with the direction. There we go, it's horizontal depth. But for this one, we want to keep it at Y, because, yeah. Actually, I think that might be a little small. Let's make that a little bigger. Let's try the 7, or maybe even 8. Yeah, that's okay, I guess. We can move this a little bit forward. That would be the axis. Now, what I've seen some people do is adding the colliders onto a empty game object. That way they can move it around with these arrows. But if we do this right now, we're actually moving the... Oh, there's some weight painting issues. We're moving the head around. So that's why I'm using the values over here. This is just my way of doing it. Technically, you could add it to a new game object, but that's a little advanced, I don't think. We'll touch on that right now. Oh, that is coming through the chest. I guess I will make this smaller. 4, 5 maybe. Let's try. I think 6 is a good number. That back a bit. There we go. Maybe not. We are going to use this for the front here as well. 0.02, I think. Yeah. Let's go with that. Height, I'm gonna keep it 2. This is another thing that's just trial and error. Just get it where you want. And we might need to change these later, I'm not sure. But that's the gist of it. We've added a collider on the head now to make it so that the hair actually responds to the collider. So we're gonna go back to our root here and to our dynamic bone script, and on top of the exclusions that we added before, we have colliders. Now the same thing, we're gonna add the number of colliders that we have. Now we only have 1, but we're gonna add some more later, but let's just add 1 right now. And over here we're gonna click on this little ball here and click the head. This is the collider we just added. Now technically this should already work, but to make it work a little bit better, we're gonna change the radius of the dynamic bone, something like 0.1. Oh, that's too much. But once you do that, these white balls go up. We're talking like 0.01, 0.0. I think 0.02 is pretty good. That's what I normally use. And we have it set to the head bone. So let's see how this works. Go to play mode. Make sure you're not paused. Move your model around. You need to have your root of your model selected. Well, there we go. It doesn't go through the head. Well, it does a little bit. I guess we gotta make the collider bigger. But if you move it slowly, you can see the white balls kind of going around the collider balls. So that's what you want. Yeah, that's good. I guess we're gonna add some more colliders here and see how this works. I'll probably speed this up a little bit, but I'll be adding one to the shoulders, the arms, the chest, and the hips. We're gonna use the same tactic as before, so I'll speed this up a little bit. Okay, now here we go. We have all these colliders added to their respective bones over here. And now we just gotta change the number of colliders on our dynamic bone script. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think. Add the number 7 there and change these accordingly. This is gonna be chest 1, the hips, left arm, that right arm, right shoulder, and left shoulder. Yeah, that looks about right. Now let's see how this works in play mode. Go into play mode and see. That's okay. Not perfect. I guess we gotta make the size of the radius a little bigger. Let's make that to a 3, maybe? Why not? Let's try 0.04. That might be a little too big. Let's try 0.03. I think that's the spot. Now her hair strands are really thick, so this is probably not gonna look all that good. But the main thing is, it's not gonna clip through her all that much. You can mess around with the size of the colliders and the radius of the dynamic bone. You get it the way you like. I guess I should make it a little bigger. But let's add some more dynamic bones. Let's add some to the bangs here. We're gonna do the same thing as with this one. So we're gonna add another dynamic bone onto the root of our model. And the root again is gonna be our head. And the number of exclusions is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12 this time. Exclusions 12. Now this time we're only gonna have the front hair, aka the bangs. So drag everything else. Now it doesn't matter that you're excluding parts of the hair that you already have set up dynamic bones. Those are still gonna work just fine. They're just not gonna be included in this one, which is what we want. Also, I just noticed for some reason I have 4 pairs of eyes. Kind of weird. There we go. There we go. We have set up some nice dynamic bones for our bangs. Now for this, since they're a bit shorter, we only need, I think, one collider, which would be the head, to make sure that it doesn't flip through. Radius is at 0.03, this one as well. We'll see how that works. Oh, sure you're not paused. There we go. That, at least the colliders work, but the hair is a little weird, so we're gonna change that. Change that again. Add some stiffness. I think 0.7 might be okay. Less elasticity. Let's try 0.05. And some dampening. Let's try 0.05 on. Okay. Maybe a bit more stiffness. Let's go all the way to 0.9. Okay, that's something. Maybe we'll add some more elasticity. Again, this is only to you're gonna have to mess around with these yourself and find out what looks good to you. Something like that. Update rate. Maybe we'll add that to 40. Oh, it doesn't really change anything. Maybe that's 60. Damping. Maybe a little bit more damping. Well, I guess that's okay. Again, copy component, go out of play mode, and paste component value. And there we go. Now for the fun part, we're going to add some jiggle physics to the chests here. Hide those. Add another dynamic bone. And this time the root is going to be your chest. But there's a whole lot of other bones connected to your chest. And we're going to add some exclusions. There's going to be, these are the bones we want to animate. So 1, 2, 3. 3 exclusions. Actually, I'm just going to drag them in. Left shoulder, neck, right shoulder. There we go. Colliders. Let's try 1. Not sure how this is going to work out. Make it the chest. And now for the fun part. Play mode, scene. There we go. That looks insane. Insane but fun. So let's change these to 40. Stiffness, I like to keep that all the way at 7. Damping, that's 0.5. Elasticity, maybe 0.5. I like to go to 0.5 and just work from there. Radius, maybe 0. Whoa, definitely not 0.1. 0.01. There we go. That's a little bit more manageable. Sometimes when you run forward, you're gonna go to the sides. It's a little weird. But yeah, that looks okay. Maybe I'll turn down the stiffness. We get a nice bounce. Maybe a little bit less. 30. There we go. That looks pretty decent. Yeah. Let's just go with that. Copy component. Paste component values. There we go. Now we added dynamic bones the hair and the chest. I think that's good. I think I have some bones for the butt as well, but I don't think we want to do that right now. Now, what you would do, you would just upload this to VRChat like you would normally. You need to have your VRChat avatar descriptor set up, and then you go. Let's see how this looks. Okay, here we are in VRChat, and everything seems to be working just fine. We have some nice boob physics. Hair looks nice and flowy. It's not clipping too much. A little bit, but I guess that's to be expected. Just mess around with your gliders and dynamic bone radiuses to get the desired effect that you want. Now, if your bones don't work in VRChat off the bat, then you need to click escape or go to your menu, go to safety, performance options, dynamic bone, and make sure limit dynamic bone usage is unticked. And there we go. Thanks for joining me on this nice tutorial. If you have any questions, leave a comment and I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. Follow me on Twitter and the social medias. I stream on Twitch. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.